Hello everyone and welcome back to the Foreplay channel. I'm Bella.
I'm Jace.
And today we're talking about 5 negative aspects of the swinging lifestyle. Although there are countless amazing benefits to this lifestyle, there are some negative aspects that can come along with it as well. The first one, and one of the most frustrating downsides in our opinion, is how the swinging community is viewed in today's society. While ethical and consensual non-monogamous relationships are 100% valid and loving relationships, they are not viewed this way by the majority of people. Just like most things that go against societal norms, there's always going to be some kind of backlash in a stigmatized community. The amount of hate we receive in some of our videos from countless people online is honestly astounding, and this will even be in videos where all we're doing is saying that we're a non-monogamous couple, but we're going and doing a normal day-to-day activity. Although we do put ourselves out there, which makes us more prone to this hate, we know many people who keep their swinging lifestyle private and still have to deal with this backlash at times. Many swingers also live in a state of fear that they may be outed to friends and family and have to deal with unjust repercussions due just to other people's judgments and misunderstandings of what having a consensually non-monogamous relationship really means. We personally have multiple friends who have been sadly disowned by their friends and family after they found out that they were in the lifestyle, and we've also had friends who had to go through custody battles after a divorce whenever they were found to be in an ethically non-monogamous relationship in their new marriage. This is extremely frustrating and concerning, as being consensually non-monogamous doesn't affect a person's ability to be a good individual, effective worker, or a good parent. While it is still a stigmatized community, we do see signs that this way of life is becoming more normalized, which is hopeful. The community is constantly growing and becoming more diverse every year, and that's extremely positive for the community. We hope that one day, even if it's never fully normalized, that ethical non-monogamous relationships will be viewed as a valued form of relationship as it should be.
So downside number 2 we're gonna say is cost. Now what we mean by this is, while you're in the lifestyle, there is a premium for these types of things. The first thing we're gonna talk about is clubs, right? If you go to a normal vanilla club, lots of time, maybe there's no cover, maybe you can just, go in for free, maybe it's $5, whatever it is. Lifestyle clubs do tend to be more expensive. While yes, you are paying for a premium, there's a reason, and this goes for all of these things. We're getting a large group of people together that are all like-minded, all have these similar thoughts, and making an area and an environment that's fun, safe, and you're able to go and just have a good time with your friends. It's the same thing for vacations. Yes, you can go to, a normal resort, and those can still be pricey, but lifestyle places do tend to be on the upper end. So when it becomes cruises, whether it's the resorts, you are paying a premium for those things. But the cruises, the resorts, all these places are extremely nice. You're gonna have so many like-minded people around you. You also have to think, these places allow for, adult activities. There's a lot of things that go into that to keep all these places safe and to keep all these places up and running, and to be a good place where you can go and feel safe, in a sexual space, and make sure that everything is running well. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, not just the premium of paying to go to be with like-minded people, but just what it takes for upkeep to keep these places running. So for us, these vacations, these trips really are worth it, because that cost is allowing you to go to a place that you're gonna have the most fun with the people that you feel the best with, and we truly just love that. Another thing with cost is theme outfits. I think people usually don't think about themes like that, but lots of the time we buy new outfits for theme nights, and maybe we have a piece of it, but we buy something new. So in the swinging lifestyle, there is a lot of themes that go on with the parties, whether that's a color party or a glow party, whatever it is. And while yes, you don't have to dress up to go to these themes, a lot of people really do enjoy being on theme. So that's something else you have to take in consideration is, are you gonna buy new outfits every single time you go to some party or some club?
There's also the upkeep of just your hygiene, such as getting tested regularly and other things like bodily maintenance. And so all of those also go into the cost as well.
Another thing that can be costly is going on dates. So yes, while you're lots of time dating your own partner, when you're going out and maybe going on a double date or meeting people for bowling or drinks or whatever it is, those things also add up. So if you're wanting to be, more active in the community, make more connections, go out more often, those costs add up as well.
And not saying that you are paying for the other person on these double dates like you would be, like whenever you're single and you're trying to create a relationship like that. So it's not like that. It's more just the amount of times that you're going out, depending on how social you want to be.
Number 3 is gonna be finding compatible partners. And what we mean by this is I feel like a lot of time when you get into the lifestyle, you just kind of think you're going to go in, you're going to meet all of these people and they're just going to be exactly your type, you're going to make all of these connections, you're going to make all of these friends. And while yes, you do make so many friends, so many connections, there's definitely times that those things are harder to find. And sometimes it's more hard to find those compatible partners because maybe you find people that you really line up with mentally, but physically it just isn't, you guys aren't on the same page. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe physically, you're really into this couple and they're really your type, but then once you start to talk, you guys just don't line up on certain values, or you don't line up on, play styles or whatever it is.
Or maybe you are lined up with one of the partners and not so much with the other.
And so we don't want to be discouraging and say, no, you're not going to find, compatible partners. You definitely do. I just think it's one of those things that you have this impression like maybe you're going to find so many people so fast, and you just have to know that you're going to have to go, put yourself out there, take the time to make the connections, take the time to, go on trips, go on vacations, go on double dates, go to the club, whatever it is, but keep putting yourself out there. You will find those compatible partners and you'll find more and more with time, but just know sometimes it can take a little bit to find those connections at the beginning.
The fourth thing that can be a negative aspect in the swinging lifestyle is the emotion of jealousy. I'll talk about how this can be viewed as a negative, but also how we can believe it can actually get turned into a positive with time and effort. Jealousy is a super normal emotion that everyone experiences in their lifetime, and while it is something that can be managed, it can also be very difficult at times when learning how to navigate it in the context of an open relationship. Out of all the issues we see couples struggle with most in the swinging lifestyle, jealousy is probably the one that we see come up most often. Seeing your partner with someone else can easily bring up thoughts of insecurities in your head that can quickly escalate if not dealt with in a proper way. I'll go more into a brief explanation of how we were able to work through our jealousy issues, but if you want an even more in-depth explanation, we have a video linked below that goes into extreme detail of how we were able to do this. So for us, we dealt with jealousy more before we ever got into the lifestyle than actually during our lifestyle journey. For a tiny backstory, I went through a major weight loss journey and Jace went through a weight to gaining journey, and the jealousy was to a point where I was uncomfortable with Jace even seeing a Victoria's Secret model on TV back in the day. This was back in the 2010 days with the fashion shows and the angels and the commercials and all that. And so after many conversations together, we found out for us, our jealousy actually stemmed from not from a lack of trusting each other, but a lack in confidence in ourselves. When we didn't feel the best about ourselves, we realized we couldn't feel completely secure. So we also communicated to each other and helped each other realize that regardless of how physically attractive we thought someone else may be, because we don't have a romantic, loving, and emotional connection with anyone else, no one could ever come even close, let alone be better for each of us than each other. And that created more security in our relationship and it really helped with those jealous emotions. Once we understood that and went through both an internal and external transformation and learned how to love and respect ourselves, we found a new confidence in ourselves and our relationship. And once we have this confidence, our jealousy just kind of melted away. So while it can be a negative emotion, when you learn how to overcome it, you can reach new heights of trust and love in your relationship.
So the fifth downside, and the last downside of this video we're going to talk about, is the LGBTQ plus community as a whole. So we'll just start with, gay and lesbian couples. First of all, we want everyone to be welcome to this lifestyle. And while gay and lesbian couples are definitely welcome, you definitely see less of them in this community. We have met several couples that are gay and lesbian in this space, but said there's just not that many. And from our conversation with them, a lot of times they have told us sometimes they just feel a little bit uncomfortable, not because they don't feel welcomed, but just because there's not that many of them in this space. And so that's one thing that we would like to see, is just a bigger, representation where those people can feel like they are part of this community, just, like everybody else is. And so that's one negative. And then you also go into the stigmatization of bi females and bi males in this space.
With bisexual women, there's almost an expectation that every woman in the lifestyle is bi, and that's not the case. And it's almost like they're put on a different type of pedestal too. Although I will say there are a lot of women who are bisexual in the lifestyle, it's not everybody. And so the fact that there is an expectation of that, especially whenever it's, going into play and stuff, it can make people feel pretty uncomfortable.
I know we've had people reach out to us and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting this journey. I've heard so much about, most women being bi. I'm a woman and I'm not. Is that going to be okay? Am I going to make someone feel uncomfortable? And I hate that has to be a thought for someone coming into this space, because you are allowed to be whoever you want to be. If you're bi, if you're whatever you are, it does not matter. And if some couple is going to make you feel pressured for a girl to do something with another woman, or vice versa, whatever it is, right? That's a red flag. That's not the kind of couple you're going to want to be with. So yes, everyone is accepted, but we do hate that there is that stigma. And the same thing in an opposite sense goes for bi males. So most men in the lifestyle tend to present as straight, but we know that we have met a lot of males who say, well, I just tell everyone that I'm heterosexual, but actually, you know, in the right circumstances, if I feel comfortable, like I will let everybody know I actually am bi. But there's this stigma where for some reason, like the bi male is not as accepted. And it just makes no sense to us. If we're people who are supposed to be open-minded and safe in this sexual space, I don't understand why there'd be a stigmatization of a male being bi. Like we said, with everybody in the LGBTQ plus space, everyone should be welcome, and everyone is welcome, but we just hate that there's these stigmas that are even around it that make people feel nervous to enter this lifestyle.
I do think that it is becoming more open, more welcoming, as I mean, we've been in this for 10 years now, and as it's getting, you know, into the future, we do see more diverse people coming into these spaces, which is amazing. It's what we want to see, and so we are hopeful that, you know, in the upcoming years that it's what will be the norm, and that the lifestyle will be an all-encompassing space that everybody feels welcome in.
And just to clarify here, everybody is definitely welcome. Our issue and what we feel like the downside is that there is a stigma around it.
Yeah. So not saying that actually everybody expects women to be bisexual, it's more just like that's their immediate thought, and so they are surprised that they're not that they're gonna make them feel uncomfortable, it's just that they're like, oh, I thought you were.
It's almost like assuming somebody's rules and boundaries. You can't just assume someone's full swap. You can't just assume someone does this or does this. It's the same thing, and those conversations should be handled the same way, and it should be, hey, what are your preferences here? What are your preferences here? What are your preferences here? And so everyone feels safe all the time.
So there you have it, 5 downsides of the swinging lifestyle. Well, the lifestyle is positive a majority of the time. We want to be transparent and authentic and show the reality that even great things do sometimes have downsides. We really hope this video was able to give you some new talking points and help you along in your journey.
So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below if you guys have any questions about anything, and make sure to subscribe so you never see me post a video, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!